Hello, investors. I would rather call you a value investor since you have reached up to this session, that is session 21, and I have graduated in many concepts in investing along with me in my value series. So, getting back to the topic of working capital. So, working capital is a measure of a company's liquidity, even its operational efficiency, and its short term financial health. Working capital is also known as net working capital. So, working capital and net working capital both are actually the same. Working capital is simply the difference of current assets and current liabilities. So, on the screen you can see working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. So, what are current assets and what are current liabilities? So, simply speaking, assets which are current in nature, current in the sense which is within 1 year of measurement, and similarly for liabilities within 1 year. So, those are the current assets and current liabilities. So, as per calculations, current assets include the total cash of the company plus the account receivable plus the inventory, and current liabilities include the accounts payable. So again, breaking it down, what is account payable? So account payable is the company's obligation to pay off short-term debt to the creditors or suppliers. So the sub-vendors, you can say, the vendors of the company. So the payments to them is accounted under this. And what is accounts receivable? So that is the balance of money due to a firm for goods and services delivered or used but yet paid for by the customers. So those are basically the payments from the customer for the finished goods they give finished goods or even services they give to the end user. So from this equation it is clear that what are the components to be considered for current assets and current liabilities for deriving the working capital. So why I say this specifically is because if you analyze a financial statement, say in an annual report, you can see in the balance sheet you will get other items also under the head current assets and even a whole set of other items under current liabilities. But for actual working capital calculation, we should not just follow the theoretical formula of current assets minus current liabilities and include all the items below current assets and current liabilities as per the balance sheet. Normally, theoretically, many people I have seen is calculating the working capital just by you have a consolidated figure of current assets in the balance sheet and current liabilities in the balance sheet. So you simply subtract both the values and get the working capital. But that is the wrong way of doing it. So we have to only include the above items which I have already mentioned, like cash, account receivables, inventory, and the accounts payable, to get the current assets and current liabilities and then derive the working capital. So basically working capital derive the current liquidity and otherwise called the net working capital of the business. Same goes correct for the item change in working capital mentioned in the cash flow statement of the financial statement for deriving the cash flow from operation. So you can again refer to my earlier session wherein I have explained about the owner's earnings versus the EPS. So in the owner earning I have again explaining about the cash flow from operation, which is CFO, which again is having a component of change in working capital. So again there I had mentioned that the change means change between change being the difference of working capital last year minus working capital this year. So in this also, this equation is really important, wherein we use the cash, account receivable, inventory, and even the accounts payable to derive the working capital last year and this year, and the difference between them is nothing but the change in working capital. If a company's current assets do not exceed its current liabilities, then it may have trouble growing or paying back its creditors. Even it may go bankrupt if that trend continues. So negative working capital can normally occur in cases wherein large cash payments decreases current assets, or a large amount of credit is extended in the form of accounts payable. As a result of a large purchase of products and services from its vendors. The working capital can be negative temporarily because of this, and it's quite okay as per me. But if this negative working capital is extended for a longer period, say for 2-3 years or even more than that, then it can be a concern for certain companies, indicating they are really struggling and have to rely on borrowings or stock issuances to finance their working capital, since working capital is so much important to run the day-to-day business. So working capital is a clear indicator of company's operation and how efficiently or effectively they are managing the business. If there is too much working capital, more funds are tied up in daily operation, signaling the company is being too conservative with its finances. Conversely, if there is too much little working capital, less money is being devoted to daily operations, again a warning signal that company is being too aggressive with its finances. So there should be a balance. So here I will introduce another term, which is the working capital cycle. So we need to really understand what is this working capital cycle. Working capital life cycle is the length of time a business or company takes to convert their aggregate net working capital into cash. It depicts the efficiency and capability of an organization to manage its liquidity in the short run. So you can see the figure in the screen. This is basically the time between purchasing raw materials and generating revenue by selling finished goods. So working capital cycle and completion of that in an effective way is very much important for a company to manage its day-to-day operation and its liquidity. Also, we need to really dig deep into the working capital components, since a case can be the working capital can be negative due to dominant market position in the industry. The company is able to negotiate with its vendors to supply goods and services to them on credit without immediate payment, that is with a delayed payment. So this is accounts payable, and then supply the finished products and services to customers or end user and collect quick cash from them in a shorter period, which is the account receivable. So this effective business can lead to a negative working capital. So negative working capital is not always bad, and we need to analyze in detail as explained above to understand how the business is being done and how the working capital is negative or positive or however it is. So it depends. You cannot generally tell that if negative working capital is there, then the business is not good or the company is going to be bankrupt. So you need to see all the figures, whether it is inventory or whatever the terms be, and judge why the working capital is in such a condition. To state an example, to cite an example in a aviation industry, the working capital can be negative due to airlines collecting airfare ticket, the fare for the air tickets well in advance, then commencing the flight. But the problem with the airline industry is that such companies may have, like in aviation sector, the companies may have high debt. So even though the working capital is negative, it doesn't help much because of the higher debt. But say if the debt is low, some companies are there in aviation sector still. So if the debt is low and the working capital is negative due to this cycle, then it is again a good stock to purchase. Unlike above, unlike the aviation industry, say a FMCG company. So FMCG company many times have a negative working capital due to the strong brand, the brand of the FMCG company helps them to maintain a lower inventory but also generate a faster or speedy sales. Also, the muscle power of the huge brand helps such companies to negotiate with their vendors to delay payments to them and deliver finished goods to the end user and get paid in advance. Such companies are worth looking at from a value creation perspective. Along with working capital, it is always recommended to check the company's free cash flow. Free cash flow I have explained in earlier videos as well in detail. So if you are new to this free cash flow, then I suggest you go back to that video and see that and come back again to this video. So that business you may own, like the company having a negative free cash flow because the company having a negative working capital because of the superiority or their brand value, because they are able to delay the payments to their vendor but sell the products, finished goods to the customer and get upfront payment and have a healthy cash in books, and also having a free cash flow, positive free cash flow, free cash flow. So that businesses you may own is much superior and creates wealth over the years if invested in the correct price. Happy investing.